Good evening, and welcome to Thinking Re-Envisioned with the incomparable Henry G. Noel, or as I like to call it, paving the way to your peace of mind. Here's Henry.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Transitional Radio's Thinking Re-Envisioned. I wish to thank all of our active duty and personnel and our veterans for their service, and to say that it has been my honor to walk among them. Thinking Re-Envisioned is now the number 2 rated show on IPMNation.com, and I wish to thank all of our listeners for getting this show into the number 2 spot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I also wish to welcome you all on this celebrated Veterans Day, the veterans, supporters, and critics alike. My name is Henry G. Noel, and I am your host. And I wish to thank you for joining me on this Monday evening on this, our 8th episode. Now, we are live this evening from Cuenca, Ecuador, and that is 2 degrees south of the equator, and on broadcasting on IPMNation.com and Thinking Re-Envisioned's Facebook and YouTube pages. So I wish to thank everybody, all of our listeners all over the globe, those listening on live radio, those listening to our rebroadcasts, and you, our fly-on-the-wall video listeners. I would also like to welcome our new listeners from Malaysia. That's 8 episodes, 30 countries. It's great to have you tuning in. And I wish to thank our good friends at Wirecast for making it possible for us to be broadcasting both, well, live and globally. So to all of our listeners who wish to participate in this show, email me at henry@henrygnoel.com. It is my wish to present a show where everyone can be as actively involved as they really want to be. Thinking Re-Envisioned. We're here to make you think. We're here to make you question. To question everything. So we trust that you've had a wonderful day off today, a nice holiday, and enjoyed this Monday. So let's get into the thread. Let's say hi and see what's on everybody's mind this evening. Okay? So we've got, hey, Joseph, how are you? I'm going to crank it up to the top here. Rita, thank you so much. Glad you've made it back. Maria, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see, we've got Dallas. Hello, welcome, Dallas. It's great to see you. Thank you. Caught the beginning of the show this time. And we've got Joseph. Yep. Thank you, Joseph. Greetings and greetings to you. Maria, again. My brother Wayne, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Welcome to this show for Monday evening. I just wanted to go ahead and fill you in on a few things that have been going on, little housekeeping things. We found if you actually go to YouTube and look to find the last night's show, the 7th episode, you're not going to find it. YouTube decided to pull it. It wasn't YouTube. It was a company called UMG, Universal Music Group, and that's a subsidiary of Vivendi. It's a Paris company, a multimedia company. And it was their choice, their decision, that because I used Toby Keith's video as an introduction to the show, that they felt that was a copyright infringement, and so they're not going to allow YouTube to post it. So, not to be undone, I did file a complaint with them, a grievance with them, and stating the fact that there's no money being made. I'm not selling the video, that it's open. It's just open source information. In fact, we took the video off of YouTube themselves, so it's open source. And the whole objective was to honor and celebrate the fact of our active duty personnel and our veterans. So we'll see if they renege on their keeping us off of Facebook. I mean, off of YouTube for that. And if they don't, then I've got a big plan to go ahead and just I will go ahead and I'll do some stuff to go ahead and things on the roll. So we'll see how things go. And it's fun. I was talking to a friend of mine who's as I mentioned, he's a brainiac. He's an astrophysicist, and but really a great guy. I mean, I enjoy being with him. And he notified me In fact, I'm going to hold up this emblem. I think everybody will recognize it. It's this is it right there. And I think everybody will recognize Monster, the drink, the company that manufactures these power drinks. And I didn't realize it, but those are actually a triple of the same symbol. It's, looks like an M, but it's actually three of the same symbols. And that symbol happens to be called Vav, V-A-V. It is the sixth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And so it is up there, as I said, 3 times. The sixth letter, sixth letter, sixth letter. Okay? So that's really what it means. And when you really look at that tagline, that's written actually on the back of the can. It says, "Unleash the Beast." And I thought that was very interesting. Something I just never even associated with. I've never drank a Monster drink, but I just never realized that that's what it was really meaning. So very interesting to me. Something I learned. I'll pass it on to you guys. Marcia, welcome. It's great to see you. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. So yeah, that's where we are. I had posted a thing this morning on Facebook with Lovey. Well, hello there. How are you? Welcome. It's great to see you. I had posted a thing on Facebook today about what the whole concept behind Veterans Day, 11/11. 11. It's the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, and this was the signing of the armistice. Yeah, right. That's the word. To end World War One. And so my thing, what I wrote was to say that the way I saw it was that, every once in a while we actually do create an enlightened moment when we actually wake up and realize, wow, we've had enough, stop doing that. And so, and I kind of looked at it as armistice was that it was a way to stop the destruction, stop the death, and wake up and get a little bit of enlightenment. And then I started checking, and I realized, wow, that lasted like a fraction of a second, that enlightenment, because since World War One, been involved in, whether it is in support capacity or actually the lead country in, 41 conflicts since World War One. The war to end all wars. I mean, that was the war to end all wars. And since then, there are 41 conflicts that we have been involved in or led. Some of them are active right now. We have 6 conflicts. That's the ones we know about. We have 6 going on in the world right now. And that doesn't count the troops that have been sent to the border. A perpetuality, I think, doesn't seem like it wants to stop. War seems to be the way of the world. Nobody seems to have common sense, and so and nor the need to stop it. I think that that's part of the biggest issues. They don't want to stop it. Obviously, conflicts make some people a lot of money, I'm sure. But 41 war to end all, and that is frightening when you really think about it. And right now we are involved in 6 different places in the world on conflicts, and like I said, that's the ones we know about. So I'm not sure what you think about that, but my contention is, how do we wake these people up? How do we enlighten them to understand that this is really not what we want? This is not the way we need to be. This whole concept of out there killing and destroying other people and villages and countries, this is just not the way it's supposed to be. So my question to you is, so how do we stop this? What do we got to do? We've got people making an awful lot of money. The bankers are making a ton of money because they're supporting all sides. We have the military budget. Of course, the way the government works, if you don't use the money, you lose it. Well, the Pentagon's been real good at losing billions of dollars anyway, but trillions of dollars actually. And so, you kind of question, what's the direction? Where are we going to go? Yes, Joseph, you're absolutely right. War is a business, and it's a big business. I mean, it really is. And how how does it stop? I mean, what is the way to go through and let the voice be known, or let the opinions be known that this is not the direction we really would like to see the world go? Again, I'm at a loss. I'm going about it my way, trying to get through and get people to wake up a little bit and see how things really function in the world, and to show how this is what we have to do. And up to now, we've been very supportive of this. When it came time to go into Iran, we were very willing to go. Into Iraq, and of course Afghanistan. We've been there forever, almost. I think it's beat Vietnam now, as far as the length of time that we've been there. But we have been involved in so many conflicts around the world. Whether it be, throwing out a dictator, or upsetting the whole government, somebody else that's going to be more lenient or more agreeable with the United States. I'm not sure exactly what's all behind it, but it's just very interesting that wherever the war is, the money seems to follow right behind it. The federal types of reserves, the banks, seem to show up in countries that didn't have them in the first place, and now they do. So Libya is one of them. We look at it. Somalia is another one. You look at, there's so many of them that didn't have world banks. Now they do. So I'm sure that there's some sort of a progression there. But then again, that's where the conspiracy people start talking about that, and the people start talking about the conspiracy people that it's really not real. It's just a conspiracy. So it's the Borg. That's it, Joseph. The resistance is futile. Exactly. But that's it's just sad. It's just amazing that this is how we celebrate. I mean, we want to honor and celebrate our veterans, our fallen heroes. I just don't want to add to the ranks. I really stop. I'm tired of seeing people die. People die for somebody who wants more power. So it's just really sad that to see this happening, and it's costing people their lives. And I guess it doesn't really matter to them. I guess it doesn't. Life doesn't matter. It just so long as it's not them that's fighting, and it's not them that's going to die. It's then of course they're going to go ahead and they're going to be pushing all this stuff. So it's really tough. I wish there was an easier way to go through. But in trying to go through and change ourselves, and as Brian was alluding to it a bit ago, bringing on your own boat, modeling up, being able to do the things that are important for ourselves, to allow us a chance to look at the world differently, and allow us to not get involved and not agree with what's going on, be able to voice our opinions, and rationally, to make sense about it. Not that it's going to do any good, because we have too many people that need to have the conflicts. That's where the battles are. And so it's other than trying to do a show like this, or trying to get the word out, or like what Brian's been trying to do. Any ideas, any other suggestions as to how we can go about it, and what is the other things that we can do? I mean, I'm a believer in just chiseling and chiseling and chiseling at the stone until whatever it is, the art piece that's in there, steps out of it. And so that's part of what I'm trying to do. Alice, thank you. Welcome so much for joining us. I really appreciate you stopping in. This is really great. I love it. Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Ruth. I appreciate it. Yep, I thought you'd stop in and listen for a while. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you did. Joseph says the drones on the battlefield, no human contact. Again, but the point is conflict. Why do we need it? What is the reason behind the conflict? Why is it that no matter what we try to do, we can't seem to stay at peace? Peace seems to be elusive. Some of the things I put out have been, that when you have to use conflict and aggression to secure peace, what kind of a peace did you get? it's not going to last. It's certainly not going to be very stable. And so that's part of the thing that I'm trying to get the point across, is to not do the things that keep us in conflict, keep us in war, keep our men and women from dying, fighting a battle that we shouldn't have been in the first place. And so that's really what I want to try to find out, is how do we do it? How do we stop it? How does the war stop? How do we wake up? How do we get other people to wake up and just realize that all we're doing is killing our brothers and sisters? That within this human race, this is it. We're it. And I think Brian was great with his when he alluded to trying to find enlightenment and trying to meditate in order to try to pull and get and become enlightened. We already are. We just don't realize it. We just forgot. We've just had covered it with so much mud that we can't find it. We can't see it anymore. We are. We really are. And that was the gift from the Creator. So here we are, living a life that has been laid there for us, not all of this stuff, and yet we were born unconditionally loving and trusting. Yet we hate as we grew up. We hate and hate and hate and hate. And it's almost along the line. It's just not what we need to be doing in this world. And and not until we realize that this is stuff we have learned to do. We have learned to fear, and we have learned to hate. And that fear is reinforced daily. It's reinforced. You just listen to any news show. The fear, it's all fear motivated, and that is the driving force behind the hatred that we have, because we fear, therefore we turn around and we end up hating. And somewhere we have to draw a line in the sand and say, no more. That we're not. This is not. I'm going to stop this. And it's an individual thing. It stops on our basis. Each of us has to do that. Let's see. We got Joseph says need to find Galt's guts. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. He says we can only do what's right by example, and one person at a time have a dialogue. And you're right, Joseph. And it really does. It starts with each one of us to change. It requires each one of us to eliminate our fears. It takes each one of us to mortal up. If to quote Brian, it takes each one of us to stop the discrimination. It takes each one of us to talk. It takes each one of us to pull the human race back together again and stop separating it. Stop buying in with the labels. Just to quit labeling, quit categorizing, quit doing the things. Everything that we have been doing is what perpetuates this environment that we live in. And it's up to each one of us to simply stop it. If we each stop it, then very much perhaps it will catch on. And if people start seeing that we walk the talk, that we really do mean what it is, then perhaps we start creating a different group that then its membership then grows and grows and grows from the other groups. And it goes from us and them and us and them and us and them to simply us, as more and more people understand what we're trying to do. Yes, Maria says it exactly, Joseph. Do what you can where you are. Exactly. We are the controllers of our own lives, and we are the ones that can set the standard. We're the ones that can set. We can actually be example and allow the others to follow, allow others to learn that this is the way it is. There's been so many people in the past that have tried to do this. Yeah, believe me, it's time. We have to do something. It's just not working right now the way it has been. And considering that we have been part of that problem, by realizing that, we can then change and stop being a part of the problem, and we become the solution. And it's not just part of it, so we actually become the solution. So that's the direction we really need to try to go, and see what we can do to fix this and change the way we're doing things. So that's really where I'm at with it. But yeah, we have a lot going on. There's so many different things that are really happening with this and with the show. And again, I thank everybody for cranking this thing up into the number 2 spot on IPM Nation. Thank you. Without you, believe me, I'd still be outside of the top 10. So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that help. And it is all this. It's the talking, it's the communication, it's putting things down in the thread. It's hitting the likes and it's hitting the shares and it's doing that stuff that gets those numbers up there. And I thank you for that, because that seems to be what's doing it. And following Brian is not a bad thing. It was fun to finally realize that the amount of oomph that he puts behind his show and carries it into the people that listen and to you all, whether you're on the radio or whether you're live on the thread here on Facebook or on YouTube. It's you, and that's what it's all about. You built him up into the number 1 show on IPM Nation, and I thank you for sticking with me, and I really do thank you and appreciate that too. It is really, 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 really appreciated. Let's see. What if I'm sorry, Joseph, I can't read that. Let's see. Coveting others' possession. Yeah, I mean that's it. A country has oil. Well, we want it. So a country has gold. Well, we want it. A country has resources. Well, we want it. And so long as we keep wanting and keep going after it, this will be in conflict after conflict after conflict. It's hard to get the message to the people that make the decisions of whether we go into a conflict or not. And yet, of course, they're presented very well. The reasons to go to a conflict is always presented extremely well, as you can always tell. But when you really get into that, you reel out a lot of that is just not true. That it was made up so that we would support the conflict, and then we do. And so it's hard. Like I says, I just totally don't understand it, and it's sad to see young people have to give up their lives for somebody's profit. It just seems like a lousy chess game. Let's put it that way. When you move a chess piece and that chess piece actually dies, that's I don't think that's the way we're supposed to play this game at all. So I want to look beyond all of that, and I think the more that we do this, the more that we walk the talk, the more that we practice it, the more that we show that we don't hate, that we don't discriminate, that we don't fear. The more that we remove from ourselves, and the better off that we are as far as living in this world. We're down to what? 4, 3. What have we got? 2 minutes, there, bro? 10 minutes. Okay. So we're doing okay with everything that's going on. I think it's important that we do everything we can to wake up, that we do take everything and really encourage the young people to not buy into all of the stuff that is going on, that is really there, and question things and research things. Don't just accept what's stated in the press or what's stated by a politician or some religious leader. Investigate it, because I find that it is so interesting when you really start learning facts and you start learning some of the truths, and that they are totally opposite of what we've been told all of our lives. It is just amazing. It really is. We always question. Let's see, Vanessa. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está? Wow, I love it. Thank you for joining us. It's really great. Thank you. Wow. So yeah, we have to walk the talk. We have to be us. We have to be us, not the us that has all this learning. We have to strip away some of that learning and discover who is, so that we really understand who we are. And that's the foot we need to start putting out there and start letting everything go. The Amish, the Mennonites, they do not go to war. Exactly. And what makes them so different than us? What makes it so appealing for them to not go and fight, to not go to war? What is it that makes it so appealing for us to go to war and fight and have conflict and be willing to die or somebody's bank account getting, full. So yeah, I mean, what is the big difference? To me, it's really hard to see such a split in humanity. To see that we have everyone that is here. We're all, like I said, all part of that same human race, all part of the one race on this planet, and yet we have so many different views and so many different opinions and so many different belief systems that get us into trouble, that get us into the mess that we deal with, and it's all part of our doing too, because we've supported all of this stuff, and that is really the issues that we have to work with. So I really am thrilled. Thank you so much for all the support and for all of the help that you've done for me. I thank you so much. And again, I'm going to get it back into the some of the major topics again that we were talking about before. So because there's still a whole list of them that we still have to go through, but I'm going to try to do it a little bit different. I'm going to try to post it up in advance so that you guys can take a look at it, see what's going to be about, and then go ahead and cover just small pieces of it during a show, and we'll just stretch it out and stretch it out and stretch it out, so that we can get in cover. And the major reason is because it's so convoluted. There's so many interconnections where fear causes this and hatred causes that, and the labels did this. When you start really looking at it all, it really is all interwoven, and each one relates to the other one, and that becomes our life, and that's how we define it. So I am going to go ahead and take off here, I think. Yep, we're down to about the crunch here. So again, I thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Barbara, my sister, oh my gosh, how are you? Wow, how are you? Welcome. Big wave to you, sweetie. It's great to see you. Thanks, Barbara, for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're there. The end of the show. Sorry, I'm into my last action. I'm getting ready to run over. Wow, thrilled to see that you're on there. Gosh, this is terrific. Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. I will see you tomorrow evening, same time, 8:30, and we'll go from here and see where it takes us. It's a great journey. It's going to be a fun adventure. We'll just keep going right along with it. And I appreciate you kind of tagging along. So thank you guys very much. Hasta luego. Hasta mañana. Take care.